When I was 18, which would have been the year of our Lord 2005, I just met a whole bunch of friends at a party which was hitherto hereafter known as the Fish Lake Incident. We went to a lot of punk rock shows. We knew each other from those venues, but we hadn't really all linked up together before, and now we had a good, strong posse. It was right at the end of spring break, and somebody called us about there being a rager in one specific area out in town. Well, it was out in the country. I had acquired new freedom because my mother had finally kicked my bitch-ass father out. So in my mind, I no longer had a curfew, really. And had also that night acquired the keys to my mom's brand new Dodge Neon Sport Edition. It had a spoiler. It was gold. It drove fast. I was happy. Man, I treated that car like shit, too. I loved going over like speed bumps and stuff. I was not a responsible child. I still can't believe I haven't been to jail yet. Anyway, somebody called us about this party. It was during prom. Was that spring? Was that spring? I don't know if it's that. I don't know if that's spring then. It might not be spring. Anyway, somebody called us for a rager. We're all going to meet up at the Steak and Shake. So what happens in these small rural areas is that people would go to 24-hour diners after prom to hang out in their clothes from prom. Well, we were a whole bunch of unruly punk rock kids, and my friends had brought in one extra person. This person will be known as TY. TY was a little bit older than all of us, which now that I look back on that, that's pretty weird. I still don't know how old he was, to be honest, but so he's obviously on something, has absolutely no regard for social contract, but he is a cutie. He was in my mind, and he was hilarious. He looked exactly like a young Ringo Starr. He was really funny. I liked his spunk. And so we were trying to figure out how we were all going to drive to the party. So we were going to like caravan, you know, the thing where everybody gets in somebody's car and we all just drive there together. Now, I should have known because during the Fish Lake incident, I was told that a place was only 30 minutes away, and I got into one of these lines of cars and it took 2 hours to get there. But I had all night. I didn't really care. And my friends were there. And in fact, the friend who I made a video about earlier, whose birthday it was today, she was there. And we're getting ready to go, and I'm like, TY can come with me. And he's drunk. He's got to be drunk. And there was pizza in one of the other cars, and it had been resting on the spoiler of my car. I didn't give a shit about that. TY, then, I guess they had gotten pizza earlier. I don't know. TY takes a piece of pizza out of the pizza box, and then he sets it on a convertible, like a white convertible BMW that's parked next to us. We're not thinking anything about it. I don't give a shit. And then Daddy's Money, angry rich boy, comes running out. Now, I didn't know much about TY, but I was pretty sure he was scrappy. I knew I didn't want to get arrested or be involved with having to talk to the police. So I was just like, everybody get in the car. And the Daddy's Money boy comes out and he's like, man, what the hell? God damn it. He's really, really mad. And TY is eating a piece of pizza. And the guy's like, did you do this? Did you put this pizza box on here? And TY, with chewing on pizza, is like, with a piece of pizza in his hand, not hiding it or anything. It's just like, I've never seen that. I've never seen that in my life. I didn't do it. And so the guy's like, you son of a bitch, or whatever people say in those situations. And the guy's like still yelling at him. And he also is like, well, then who did it? And I've got my back door open for TY to get in. And I'm like, TY, get in the car. Get in the car right now. Get in the car. Finally, I force him into the car and we just start driving off so that a spat isn't started. And TY's in the back being drunk like, he wasn't going to do nothing. He wasn't gonna do nothing. And then I put on the Beatles. For some fucking reason, I did like the Beatles at the time. TY all of a sudden is like, fuck the Beatles. If they hadn't done it, somebody else would have. Strangely, even though TY was right to hate the Beatles and teach me how to hate the Beatles, that isn't true. The Beatles they weren't revolutionizing anything. They just stole Chuck Berry and a whole bunch of other people's music style and did that. They're even quoted having said, we want to be like Chuck Berry. They also idolized Elvis, who stole everything from Sister Rosetta Tharpe. So anyway, that's your music history lesson for today. Anyway, so T.Y. is in the back having a fit. We get to this freaking party. My friends are there. The guy I kind of have a squish on is there. I'm real excited about that. Everybody's talking about the Fish Lake incident like it wasn't something we were supposed to take to our graves. And they're kind of making fun of me and the guy I have a squish on because of some of our behavior and how it resulted in the guy I had a squish on and his girlfriend breaking up. Anyway, we were young. I did not yet know how to express my asexual feelings. I didn't even know I was trans at that point. I just knew I was real different. And so the energy's fucking dog water in that place. It was awful. Just like feng shui, the whole house was off. Like it was like basement cave dweller energy. It was bad. All of us collectively were like, we don't want to fucking be here. I don't like this place. The beer's not good. Music sucks. The just whole atmosphere and ambience was terrible. We all collectively agreed we were not gonna sit through this bullshit party. This party sucks. We're leaving. So we go outside. The grass is wet. It's like dewy. It's late at night. Probably 2 a.m. So early in the morning, I guess, but I'm not here to be pedantic. I'm headed straight for the car because I just don't want to be there. I don't like those people. I feel like something bad's going to happen. This is in a really populated neighborhood, like a really small insular neighborhood. And I feel like probably it's going to be a problem with the neighbors. So my paranoia is already on alert. Well, we're walking out to the car. It's real dark out there in the country. And all of a sudden, one of our friends says, "Look up." And we're like, what the hell are you talking about? Going about our conversation. And everybody stops. And we look up. And Aurora Borealis was spreading across the sky. So about 5 or 6 punk rock kids looked up at the sky and saw Aurora Borealis at the same time. All of us saw that together in northern Indiana. And we're all staring up, marveling at the heavens. T.Y. is drunker at this point. He says we're all on crack. He literally says it. He's like, y'all are on crack. There's nothing up there. I don't see nothing. And we're just like, shut the fuck up, man. There's Aurora Borealis in the sky. This is the Northern Lights. And we just stared up. I remember my friend, who's gone now, said, this actually warrants the word amazing. And I remember thinking it looked like cuts in the sky where heaven showed through. The way it was just cutting the sky and opening up the heavens. Looks like little slits where you can see the other world. Oh, we may not have had the internet like we did back then, so I may just not have known. But to see the Northern Lights in Indiana just on a random night was a huge blessing for all of us. We had no idea that was coming. We didn't have any idea it was going to happen. And some people just sat down in a neighbor's yard and just like stared up at it. Just like sat down in the wet grass and stared up at the sky. And we were so focused on the sky, and then we hear the splatter of liquid hitting the street pavement, hitting the blacktop. And T.Y. has walked a little bit down and started peeing just right there on the street in front of everybody, and God and everybody. I mean, he's not facing us, but it's like, man, this is like a real celestial event here, man. And that was the point at which I was like, this we gotta go. And then we all went over to the boy I had a squish on's house. We stayed up until the sunrise, just talking to each other. Remember how we used to do that? Did y'all ever used to do that? We used to do that. And then in 2025, 2024 or whatever, when the Northern Lights spread out across the whole country, I got to take these pictures. My friend who was there with me is gone now, but it was a strange continuance of the phenomenon. Almost exactly 10 years apart, same time of year, it felt like, I think. I'm not great with time, but it felt like I'm seeing it again, friend. Look, I can see it again. It's just like then. And the red haze on the sky in the New Mexico night shows up much better in pictures, but I could feel it. I could feel the same energy like there was back then. All I could think about was her and how it was happening again, and this time she wasn't here in the same way, but she was there right next to me. She was in the aurora. It was the closing of an envelope and the sending of a letter. And at that time, I wondered where all of those people were who saw what we saw that night. What had turned into those incredulous punks? Were they thinking of that night too? Telling our same story, like I am, about how 10 years ago, right around now, we had seen this once before. Bye, I love you.